Corviknight is a Pokemon released in Gen 8 that seems like it was made specifically to thrive in competitive singles. This Pokemon saw high usage instantly and remained a common and popular choice throughout the entirety of Gen 8. Now Gen 9 is here and Corviknight is back, and it has remained one of the best defensive support Pokemon in the game. Let's take a look at what makes Corviknight so perfect for the competitive singles environment. But first, an important update. The new Gen 9 dog Pokemon Moveset has used its heightened sense of smell to track down the powerful and controversial Pokemon Iron Mugulus. Iron Mugulus was hiding inside of the top shelf of washing machine Pokemon Rotom Wash. Unfortunately, Moveset is a bit too large to fit inside of the washing machine, but we might have another idea up our sleeves to take out Iron Mugulus for good. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to help the distant relative of Iron Mugulus, Sinistee, track down Rotom Wash and enter the top shelf of the washing machine. Sinistee should be able to clean things up from there. Thank you. Corviknight's stats are actually pretty average. Its bulk is decent, but nothing special at all. Where Corviknight's defensive power comes from is its excellent Steel Flying type combination. Steel is already one of the best types in Pokemon with its many useful resistances and an immunity to poison. Flying is one of the best types to complement Steel. Instead of being weak to ground, you're now immune to it, and immune to the effects of spikes. You're also now neutral to fighting instead of being weak to it, with only 2 weaknesses to electric and fire, 2 great immunities, and an impressive 8 resistances, including ×4 resistance to bug and grass. This is truly one of the best type combinations you can get. You also take less damage from Stealth Rock than most other flying types thanks to that Steel typing. Competitive singles players should be well aware of the power of Steel Flying typing. Skarmory had the same type combination and has seen great success in OU ever since its release all the way back in Generation 2. Skarmory was defined by its excellent typing, high defense, and access to both Stealth Rock and Spikes, as well as great support moves like Toxic, Defog, and Whirlwind. While Corviknight shares the same type combination as Skarmory, its toolset is a bit different. Corviknight lacks any entry hazard moves, and doesn't even get access to Toxic. The biggest thing that sets Corviknight apart from Skarmory is its access to the best pivoting move in the game, U-Turn. This is the biggest thing that makes Corviknight as good as it is. U-Turn is a perfect fit on a Pokemon that can switch in defensively against so many common threats. Corviknight can very freely switch in, use U-Turn, and respond to whatever the enemy does, creating safe entry points for many frail offensive threats. Corviknight is an extremely reliable pivot, and you really can't go wrong with adding it to a team. Pivoting is one of the most fundamentally powerful concepts in singles, and Corviknight is a Pokemon that can fulfill this role almost perfectly. Not only is it an excellent pivot, with access to Defog, Roost, and some useful attacking moves like Body Press to take advantage of your defense investment and provide you with a bit of damage output, or Brave Bird to threaten the common Great Tusk, and a few other useful targets in OU. Corviknight is just a fantastic utility Pokemon all around. Corviknight has a new adversary in Gen 9 that can actually counter Defog and prevent it from removing hazards. Gholdengo has made Corviknight's life a little bit more difficult, and clicking Defog in Gen 9 OU is no longer the safe option it once was. But with access to U-Turn, you can always pivot to something that threatens Gholdengo and get some momentum going. In fact, this is one of the best ways to bait in Gholdengo, potentially even popping its air balloon for free. Corviknight can further enhance its value to a team by using a Rocky Helmet, with this Pokemon's ability to come in and shrug off so many physical hits. This will punish the enemy for using any physical hit that Corviknight resists, including their own U-Turn. This helps Corviknight offset its lack of any status moves or progress-making effects. Leftovers is obviously a great item choice as well, and it's probably the better option if you're using Brave Bird to offset the recoil damage. Covert Cloak is another good option in Gen 9 OU to make you immune to Garganicle's Salt Cure effect. Corviknight also has some useful abilities. Pressure is an ability that you can never go wrong with on a defensive Pokemon, and it's the most common choice on Corviknight. This ability causes your opponent to lose double the amount of PP when they target you with any move. Since Defog has less PP than Stealth Rock, sometimes Defoggers will lose 1v1 to Stealth Rock setters. You can defog their Stealth Rock repeatedly, but eventually if you keep doing this over and over, you'll run out of defog PP, while they'll still have Stealth Rock PP. Corviknight is a defog user that actually wins this 1v1 thanks to pressure. Stealth Rock will waste double the amount of PP against Corviknight and can therefore only be used 16 times, which is less than the 24 PP of defog. This is one great benefit of using pressure over the other abilities, but pressure is also just useful in general. A lot of common attacks have low PP PP, like close combat, and threatening to waste the enemy's PP whenever they attack you is always advantageous. Mirror Armor is an interesting ability that will make Corviknight immune to stat drops, and instead reflect the stat drops back to the enemy. One nice application of this is against a Pokemon that uses Mystical Fire as fire coverage. Mystical Fire has a special attack dropping effect. Patron relies on Mystical Fire to be able to hit Corviknight, but since it will have that special attack drop reflected back to it, it will be reducing its own damage in the process. You can also sometimes reflect back Moonblast's special attack drop effect, and you're also immune to the defense drop effects of certain moves. This ability is less useful overall than Pressure, but in some situations you can justify using it. Unnerve is the final ability option and the least popular choice. This ability prevents the enemy from being able to consume berries. There aren't really any useful applications of this on Corviknight. You could ignore a Chople Berry on a Pokemon weak to fighting and KO them with Body Press, but this is not really a common interaction. Corviknight has some other options as well. Taunt is useful to disrupt enemies from creating hazards using rest, boosting, and more. Iron Defense can turn you into an unexpected win condition, boosting not only your defense but also the power of your body press. Bulk Up is another option to consider if you'd rather use Brave Bird as your damaging move on a set like this. A less reliable boost sweeping option is a Power Trip set. Power Trip is a move that gains power for every boost you have. With Bulk Up and Agility, you can rack up boosts and start hitting huge power trips, even sweeping teams at times. Terra Dark can even be used to help enhance this further. This is more of a meme set, and I wouldn't recommend using this on any serious team, but it is pretty funny, and I'll admit that I've been caught off guard and beaten by this set before. Corviknight's fellow Steel Flying type Skarmory unfortunately dropped down to UU in Gen 8 after 6 straight generations of being ranked in OU, as a result of Corviknight outshining it a little bit, and also more Stealth Rock and Spikes users being introduced. While each Pokemon has different tools that both have their merits, Corviknight's tools were more consistent in Gen 8, making it easier to fit on teams, and it was a bit harder to justify using Skarmory when so many teams already used Corviknight and they have defensive overlap between them. Skarmory was still usable in Gen 8 OU, but not quite the central metagame force it once was. Skarmory is not yet available in Gen 9, but I would say Corviknight will remain the more popular choice if it does return. Corviknight has a perfect combination of traits to thrive in competitive singles, and I'm pretty sure it will remain popular even when returning Pokemon and DLC are introduced. With one of the best type combinations in the game and an excellent support move pool, it's hard to go wrong with this Pokemon. What do you think of Corviknight? Do you think it will eventually fall, or is this just an example of a perfect competitive Pokemon? What would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you for watching. Thank you to the patrons. Become a patron to appear on this fun end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon, as well as various other rewards such as video requests.
The money got different, cause of what I'm spending. The money got different,
oh, it's
cause of what
Megaphone!
I'm spending.
Oh,
The money
KO'd
got
by
different,
one hit! It
cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different.